a new parts of your career where you're becoming a trainer now. You're just dipping your toe in the water, where you've got a few lads that you're going to turn over professional, and they're going to start fighting under you. Hopefully fighting on some of our shows.
Hopefully, yeah.
But as you're not a man to brag too much, I just thought I'd like to bring it to your attention about your career, because as we can see over there, 2 nice little belts, WBU world title, the EBU European title.
Yeah.
There's a couple of ABA belts, medals.
Yeah.
Not a bad career.
Yeah, not bad. Looking back now, it's not too bad, is it?
But I mean, obviously, you're son of the Viking, junior. Was it something that you always felt you were going to do? Were you always going to be a boxer?
No, not really. I just went to the gym as a kid, aspired. I thought it's not for me. This I was about 10, and then that was that. Just doing what I'm doing, messing about in school, playing rugby, and want to be good friends. Not at the time, obviously got to know him, and he was in the gym boxing, and as I'm leaving school, that's when it all started, 16.
And so what, you were 16, you won your first ABA title when you were 19?
19, yeah.
That's a pretty big achievement there.
Yeah, look, that's what I'm saying, looking back now it is, but at the time, you just...
Well, inside 25 fights to become the elite champion.
Yeah.
Which I think it was. Did you have 38 fights as an amateur?
38 in total, yeah.
Which is pretty similar to your pro. I think it was 39 fights as a pro.
40 as a pro.
40 as a pro,
yeah.
And 38 as an amateur.
Yeah. And
to achieve what you did is pretty damn good. But also, back to back ABA medals.
Yeah. First year, then the second year, senior ABAs as well. So it was good, but at the time, it was just enjoying myself, not thinking of I'm going to be this, going to be that. Just taking each fight as it come, and before you know it was in the final.
Were you a natural? Because I know this sounds horrible, but I remember watching you because you used to fight for my old club at Bridgewater, and I come down and watched one of your good mates, Darren Cleary, and you both fought on a show. You must have only had a couple of fights. I can't remember how many it was.
So we started with that's who sort of got me into it.
But I never would have believed that 18 months after me watching you there, you'd be an ABA champion. Yeah. So he wasn't brilliant.
No, he was a raw one, the rookie. But obviously, I dedicated myself to it. I got the bug. Then obviously started watching my dad and getting sort of the understanding the respect. I'm respecting my dad more because of it. Because of the sport.
Your dad would have been going through his golden period, wouldn't he? Because he would have been picking up, as you started your amateur career, he would have been picking up the Commonwealth against Chris Pyatt.
Yeah, Commonwealth. But I remember as a kid I used to go watch him, but not all the time. And I was watched when he boxed Winky Wright at
for the world title.
Yeah, world title.
Yeah. That was at Manchester Arena, wasn't it?
Yeah, at the arena that was. Yeah. Might have been about. I could have been 14 then. Could have been.
Yeah. I can't remember what year it was.
But yeah, I didn't even box then. Now, like I said, I've moved areas and then got to meet Darren, become good friends, and we just ended up going to the gym together. And before you know it, was on the same shows and was boxing amateur together. And
did you turn pro together as well then?
I think did I turn pro first? I think we turned pro together as well, yeah. And then we was on obviously shows together as well, and he got unlucky, to be fair. I think he was
very unfortunate in some of his fights.
I think he was a top fighter, southpaw as well, and then obviously he was boxing good kids. He was sort of the journeyman, but he was a top journeyman. But some of the fights, he nicked it, he won. Do you know what I mean? He held his own. But if he got looked after, who knows what could have happened. But he found another route to go down, and I stuck with the boxing.
So your first title was the English title.
English title, yeah.
What was that about your 10th, 11th fight, was it something?
Probably 10th, yeah.
And then you defended that, and then suddenly out of the blue, you get an opportunity to fight for
WBU.
And how did that come about?
do you want to fight for WBU title? Yeah, no, so obviously it comes about, doesn't it? It comes, you get lucky in boxing and took the opportunity to say, okay, let's have it then. And then before you know it, I've had it, trained for it, and then it's here now, isn't it? So.
Well, you got to make a couple of good defences of that, but obviously the last one was against Derry Matthews. But it'd be fair to say that outside of boxing wasn't going perfect for you. You had a son that was very poorly.
Yeah, I
think there were a few other contributing factors. But as many ups in your career, you had quite a few downs, didn't you?
Yeah.
Where things didn't go quite right for you, as well as things going right for you.
Yeah, I suppose. Took the rough with a smooth. But like boxing, everyone has another life. People probably watch boxing and see you on the TV and training, and that's all you're doing. But once you've come out of that gym, you've got another life.
Mm-hmm.
And I had another life, and some things weren't going well in that bit of a life I had. And it plays a big factor in your boxing, in your mind. When you're in the gym, you don't get the best out of yourself. So that's probably the downfall I had in the losses and the not so good fights I had. But when my mind was right and things was going right, that's when you...
Well, I remember coming to you, as I said, I think I must have been a bit of a bogey man, because 4 of your defeats, because you only had 6, and 4 of them I was there. And there was a cracking fight when you went up to Scotland and you fought Alex Arthur.
Yeah.
And you started that fight. It was just a joy to watch, mate. And then he started creeping back into the fight, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was a massive favourite at the time as well, wasn't he?
You
as you usually are, a big underdog.
I come up a weight as well for that one.
Mm-hmm.
It was
So that's super featherweight,
Super featherweight,
yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's maybe, I don't know, when I knocked him down, the count was a bit longer than what it should have been and things like that. But it's boxing for you.
Well, you finished it well though, didn't you? Because you chased him once you knocked him down. You chased him down for the last 2 rounds, and he managed to hold on to
it.
Yeah, that was for the interim WBO world title, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then what was it? 3 years later, you get to fight for the EBU. Was it 3 or 4 years later?
It could have been 4 years later.
Yeah.
And that come about just a knock on the door. Do you want to fight for European?
Well, am I right? He just fought on a show. He just beat Scott Lawton in defence of that title.
Yeah.
And he'd stopped him in the 3rd round. And you'd fought on the undercard against was it Yusuf Alamini?
Yeah. I can't remember his name, but I was on the undercard of that fight anyway. But
then they come to you and you said, "Do you want to fight this kid?" And he was a bit of an animal, because I think 7 previous fights before he fought you, I think he'd stopped 6 of them. And he'd been to our shows on a few occasions and done really well. Like say, he just beat Scott Lawton in defence. I think he stopped him in the 3rd round, and then prior to that he beat Carl Johansson.
Johansson after that, yeah. Well, before that, sorry, but where was I? I was in the changing rooms after that fight. Was and said, "Do you want to fight for the European title?" So I said, "Yeah." Well, then let's have it. And then obviously, do you know?
Were you not warned off him or anything? Because he had a phenomenal record. And
no, obviously, like I said, I'm not one to shout or brag, but maybe that's what boxing is now, you know, to get yourself out there and get them fights. But at me, I wasn't like that. If the opportunity to come and the fight's got offered me, I'd take it. I won't say no. So that fight was there to be took, and that's probably the best camp I've ever had.
Yeah.
So one of my highlights in my career, that as well.
And another beautiful left hook, which both of those were won with.
Yeah, both won with left hook.
Your WBU and your EBU were both beautiful shots.
Yeah, and it's got me them 2 there. So.
As I said, you know, I remember watching you as a young kid, and you could throw combinations with that left hook of yours. Beautiful combinations.
Double it up.
Yeah, double it up, triple it up.
Yeah.
It was a cracking tool that you had, and you used it well. And then, obviously, again, outside things interfering with life. You weren't 100% in your first defence, were you?
No, but it's like hard, because boxing, if you get beat, there's always an excuse, and you know what I mean. No, it's not. No, nothing's forgivable. You've got to. How can I say? You have to either blag your way through it and you've done it, or and then if there is a loss and you have got an excuse, no one wants to hear it anyway. No one wants to know about it. But yeah, I did. I shouldn't have boxed that night, but I did. I thought I'd let my fans down and the people around me in my training camp, and the last, say, 10 days of that fight, I was well under the weather. So, but I put a lot of my heart and soul into all the training. One day woke up, boom, gone. So, but like I said, no one wants to hear that excuse or whatever.
Do you feel that was the beginning of the end for you?
Looking back now, it was. Because I was getting a bit disheartened at the time, because when I was getting to a certain level of my training, my body it wouldn't tolerate certain bits. It was just getting ill and run down and things like that. Maybe something to do with the weight or what, or I've done it for that long, my body couldn't tolerate certain bits or punishment anymore. But my body's way of telling me, it'd run me down. I'd get ill, I'd pick up colds, I'd pick up a virus. Where halfway through camp I'm great. Last couple of weeks it's making weight. My body just was.
But it's weird that, because you are a gym rat. You love it. I mean, you're 4 years retired now and you're in as good a shape as I remember when you were fighting last.
But I can eat what I want now, so I'm alright. So I've got all the energy. I don't have to diet. But I think dieting's one of the biggest things in boxing. If you've mastered your diet and that, and you know what you're doing, that's half the battle won. For me anyway, 100%.
Well, going into your new phase of your career, do you think all the things that went wrong, as well as the things that went right, do you think this is what's going to make you the coach that you hope to be?
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing this because I love it and I'm in the gym. So for the knowledge what I've got or what I've picked up or learned along the way, I want to give it other fighters who want to come in. And definitely don't make the mistakes I made. So if I can see certain bits or flaws in them, or they're in the gym and they shouldn't be doing certain bits, I want to tell them, listen, go home, rest up, or because I know I've been there and done it. It's not nice, and other fighters know that themselves. When you're in the gym and you're not feeling 100%, that day off is important as busting a gut in the gym. So
rest is as important as training hard.
Yeah, definitely.
Would you feel like, because you were in the middle of the beginning of the golden period for the Northwest, your dad helped to start it with the fact that he could sell ridiculous amounts of tickets at the arena, so he brought big time boxing up to the Northwest. Obviously you were there watching him at those times, and then I think you turned pro 4 years after Ricky Hatton had turned pro, so he's WBU champion, which you eventually became, and I think he defended it something like 15 times at the arena.
Yeah, he did. He established that belt, to be fair.
Yeah.
He put it on the map in British boxing and all over the world.
So now, all these fighters, obviously, nothing really went wrong with Ricky's career, but one of your good friends in Jamie Moore, who's now just been voted Trainer of the Year, your careers are very much on the same parallel as one another. You both won the EBU, you both in the third round when you won, and perhaps people said he should have been world champion. People said you could have gone further, but things went wrong. And do you think those are what are helping you to become the better trainer that you hope to be, as it's working with Jamie now? Yeah,
definitely. I mean, I think Jamie's a clever guy anyway. He's got a good brain, and he had a good boxing brain, and he's been in that game like he's being a trainer now. So he's sort of, how can I put it?
Well, he helped train you in your last few fights, didn't he?
Yeah, of course. So I think he's got that knowledge and a bit more at what he's learned now from when he first started training till now. He's a bit more. He's gone more mature and he understands, and I think Jay's clever at what he's done, how he's doing it, and his achievement from what he's done from that short period of time till now. I just think it's amazing.
Some of the coaches that you trained under as an amateur and professional are some of the best coaches that Britain's ever had.
Yeah.
Realistically.
Yeah, look at it in that way, yeah.
I mean, Billy Graham, one of them.
Billy Graham, Oliver Harrison, Maurice Core, and Jamie Moore.
Not bad. And Jamie Moore, like we just mentioned before, has just been voted Trainer of the Year.
Yeah, brilliant, yeah.
Now, do you feel that you can take a little bit of the knowledge that you've took from those guys as coaches and help that to benefit the fighters that are going to train under you?
Yeah, of course. And then I look at it, I've got my own way of training as well. But yeah, 100%, I'll take snippets of what I've done, what they've taught me throughout my career. I'll have that.
Well, do you know something? Do you feel, and I've spoke to Jamie about this and a few other coaches, years ago you go to a coach because he would coach you a certain way. You know, perhaps the way he fought, that's the way, if you wanted to fight that way, you'd go to that guy. Do you not feel that now you have to be a little bit more knowledgeable as a coach and work with your fighters and perhaps try and find out what's the best way for them to fight?
Yeah, of course, because they come for you for that as well, that knowledge and that experience you've had, you know, to guide them the right way. But like sometimes some fighters don't always suit a certain way a coach teaches, but then like you said, now coaches adapt to that fighter and see what's best for them.
Yeah, so it's changed, isn't it? Because it was normally it was the coach's way or the highway, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Now, realistically, if you want to be a successful coach, you've got to be a little bit more understanding and try and find out the best way for the fighter and bring out the best in him.
Yeah, you have to adapt your style of training to suit the fighter as well, and it is knowledge, and you have to have a bit of a brain about you, I suppose. But because I've been doing it that long now, sometimes it's just instinct and whatever else.
Do you find it easy to break down a fight? You know, when you're watching a fighter, can you see what he's doing well and what he's doing or what he should be doing sometimes in fights? Can you spot that quite quickly and read something into a fight that perhaps not everyone else can?
When I was fighting, you wouldn't notice it. You'd just be watching the fight and whatever else, the excitement and see this, that and the other. But as I've become sort of on the training side of it, and now I'm an outsider looking in and try to get things right and perfect things, well, yeah, then I do notice things now.
Well, you know, obviously, you know, we were talking about your left hook, those two belts by the side of you, great product of that left hook of yours. When you're trying to teach something that you did really well, and you never had to think about it, now because you're trying to teach someone else and you have to think about it, does that make things fall into place a little bit more?
Yeah, it does. But the way I think, I work on something what they're naturally good at throwing. I mean, I can improve, say, the left hook or right uppercut or anything else, but I'll let them do what they've got to do and spar and say train on a bag, then I see what they're good at, then improve on that.
Yeah.
So, like mine was my left hook, and you know, some people's got a perfectly good jab, and it just gets worked, and that's what breaks them down. So, my theory is work on what they're good at, try not to upset them and their rhythm, just make them
tweak
better.
What they've already got.
Yeah, that's my theory on it now. I mean, I've not been in the training fighter game that long, but that's the way I'm going to take my approach at it anyway.
Yeah, well, like I say, I'm really looking forward to seeing you on the circuit. Like I say, could be some good reunions for you. Like I say, bumping into Jamie and bumping into Morris and Ensley, because they're all doing the circuit still with their lads now. So it's nice to keep it together, grow old together in boxing.
Yeah, back involved on a boxing way and a boxing circuit, because it's me. I mean, I've been out of it, and I've got a gym now. But when I was out of it, it's not me. The other things I've been doing, it's not me. Did
you miss it?
The gym. Yeah, of course I do. At the time when things are not going well, you don't think that you're not missing it. You just want that day off or that rest. But when as time goes on and you're used to getting up in the morning to go to the gym and all that, and seeing the lads in the gym and having a crack with them all, and that's when it kicks in. That's when it kicks up on, and you start missing it. It's all start being took away from you. So you just have to adapt then. And like now, I love being in the gym. I love to train and
Well, you're back full time again now, aren't you?
In the gym, yeah.
Because you're now doing personals and all the courses that we was doing at Manchester Gymnasium Centre.
Yeah.
So hopefully, like I say, I know I've met a couple of your lads already, and hopefully I'll see them on the circuit with you, and picking up your first win as a trainer.
Yeah, fingers crossed. But yeah, I can see it going good anyway, so I can't wait. Looking forward to it. New chapter.
Alright, Steve. Take care, mate. Bye.
Thank you, later.